How do I sound? Got a different mic. Look, Ma, no mic. How does it sound tinny? Less robust? Just curious. Trying this out to see what it sounds like. Might be a little more sensitive than this one. Lovely. That's how I sound, is lovely. Somebody's gonna comment if they can hear me. Ryan, I think, opened the doors. Thank you very much. Sounds like I do have a cold. So yes, Shambot nailed it. Runeslinger, good to see ya. Joe, morning. Hope everything's all right with you, man. Hoos, morning. Morning. Now I have a habit to like bring the mic. Like every once in a while I touch the microphone. I gotta get it. Now it'll look weird. Yeah, another day indeed. Shambot, good to see ya. Eileen, what? It's a little early. Morning. Yeah, I'm getting over not as dulcet. Okay. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Probably these things aren't just, they don't have a lot of, I could probably EQ it a bit to make it a little bit more dulcet, but I don't want to. Let me see. Let me mess. Let's mess, shall we? Let's mess. I just want to mess. We'll mess a little bit. I want to sound a little bit more robust. Let me. Now I can't hear this, so maybe I can do this a little bit. How does it now? Just a little bit. How about that? Does it sound a little bit more robusty or dulcet? No, I'm not tinny. It actually sounds a little raspy, but it's more accurate of what your voice sounds like. Yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah, I feel like dog crap. Like I'm getting over it. I'm rounding the curve. Thursday, I stayed in bed all day. I got up for like one meeting, went straight back to bed. Lacks a little bass. Yeah, I'll do that. Gabe, yep, a little early. Why not? Like sometimes I'm right on time, sometimes a little bit late. Why not start a little early? Yeah, it's going around. And I don't go anywhere. That's what sucks. Like how do I get this thing? Like I don't go out very often. My wife thought it might have been a game group. Like, oh, when did you game the other night? I'm like, yeah, but I don't touch anybody. I don't touch anything they touch. I don't know. William, good to see you. Morning. Hey, Dorcas, morning. Chad, morning. Some Californians. Thanks for coming up. West Coasters. Shouldn't just say Californians because Hoos is on the West Coast. Thanks for getting up early. I know Harrigan probably won't be here today. Not that you guys would need to know that or not, but Genghis Khan is going on in Colorado. I don't know who else is all out there at Genghis, the Khan of Genghis. The Khan of Genghis. Did I turn my bass up? Does it work a little early or work a little bit better? Sound a little bit better? Hey, Wayne, morning. A little early. It's okay though. I mean, I arrive just when what is it? A wizard arrives right exactly when he wants to. My goal in life is to frustrate all the people by quoting things just a little off. Or be Ricky from Trailer Park Boys and just screw up every saying that's out there. precisely when he means to, Sean. That's right. Give it 8 o'clock. Bang, boom, bam. 8 a.m. Central Time in the U.S. Do you know where your friendly local RPG streamer is? So what's new? What's new? Brandon's always late. We use that quote a lot. I would say the mic is working well. You sound as intended unless you are looking for more bass. I'll turn up. Well, I want to, since you guys are here, you guys are my guinea pigs. You ever have a guinea pig? I owned a guinea pig. First pet guinea pig. Fluffy. I know, shocker. You guys are probably like, what? No way. Yeah, it's true. Let me turn up the bass. How about now? Jacked it up to about 3. 3 on the EQ. I knew they would sound a little tinny. Eat some coffee, just about to tell Sean to wipe all the dandruff off his shoulders and just realized it's stars. Well, no, that's really dandruff. What can I say? What's her name from The Breakfast Club was an inspiration. Sean says Laramie's not here yet. I'm sure he'd explain that virus transfer via touch as well as respiration, a la wearing mask. Yeah. Sure. We could, I don't have a topic. Shocker. My job is new. First week and went pretty well. Good. Awesome. Congratulations. Being in the job business, it's always good and refreshing to hear that, because I know it really, dude, it takes a lot of stress off of people's shoulders. So congratulations, William. I hope the job presents challenging, positive challenges. That's what I say. Positive challenges. Hish, this guy. Hish, what time is it where you are? Hish coming from way over in Asia. What time is it over there, Hish? You must be very late, like 8 p.m.? 10 p.m., 2 hours off. I didn't know if it was exactly 12 hours or not. Thanks, Hish. Good to see you, man. First pet, Blackmore goldfish. Gabe, here's what's new. Me and some BSers are starting a campaign using actually original D&D plus chainmail. It's enlightening. Oof, that sounds fun. Jim, morning. I put out on Blue Sky, and I didn't get as much hate as I thought I would have. Probably because nobody follows me on Blue Sky. Except for cool people like you guys. But I will say, I was just feeling sassy. And I just put it out there. I'm like, you know what? Because I think somebody posted a comment like, hey, do you play D&D? And I think it was like D&D. Or I don't know if they specified 5e. Or have you moved on and why? Or something like that. I'm like, dude, it's just gone over and over and over and over and over again and again and again, and nothing's really fresh. And then I got sassy and said, we should just call at every iteration, every fantasy RPG, insert publisher name, exclamation point, apostrophe S, D&D. Publishers, D&D. MCDMs, D&D. Kobold Presses, D&D. Paizo's, D&D. Right? Of course, one of the guys that I follow over there, Will, is like, oh, no, you didn't. I'm like, oh, yes, I did. What's new for me is an old G+ buddy sent me a Cyberpunk Red Core rulebook for my birthday earlier this month. Oh, that's fantastic, Hish. That's awesome, man. My new thing is escaping my job. Wednesday is my last day. I might be getting a job offer soon. Well, good luck. I love Sassy Sean. You know, I don't know. Good morning. What's new? Watching the countdown to tomorrow's Gen Con hotel room lobby. Whew. Or lottery, you mean? Good luck. That's what I personally call not D&D. Well, it is, though. Got it. Yeah. But they're all D&D, right? Are you playing WotC's D&D? Or are you playing legally not D&D? Legally not D&D. Or are you playing Gavin Norman's D&D? We could talk about over and under. That was pretty wild from what I hear. Over and under? What's that? I don't even know. I agree. If it's an FRPG, it's D&D. Well, even VSD. VSD? D&D? Against the Dark Master? D&D. D&D. Oh, so you're playing that D&D. I mean, they're all forks, right? Fork you, man. Come on, let me talk to a software developer. Jim. No, I'm not a developer. Don't. Yeah, I know, but you work in tech. Right? It's just a fork. A new thing is being asked to run a Dragonbane game for some folks that I don't know via a D&D friend. Ooh, rough. Dragonbane. Oh, Free League's D&D? Cool. So from now on, maybe for today, if you're referring to a fantasy RPG, you have to refer to it as publisher or author D&D. Because then we'll all know what you're talking about. Over and Under was a Discord name of game of Mothership run during Mothership Month on Discord. Oh, interesting. I was a developer. Jim is a recovering developer. According to my mom, every RPG is the D&D. Well, exactly. So let's not fight it anymore. Let's just say, yep, I played D&D, but it's Matt Colville's D&D. Like, what version does your son or daughter play? I'm not quite sure. Well, then I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. A lot of us Gen Xers, I think, landed in tech fields. Some of us did. What is RPG Sean's D&D? Mine would be probably Shadowdark is up there. I like Shadowdark quite a bit. Probably got my little bit of attention. And then I would probably say I like Simbaroom, but I don't play it enough. I like the setting. And then if I had to pick a setting, so Simbaroom, I like the setting. I don't get a lot of exposure to the game, the rules and mechanics. And then I would have to say I like Eberron. And I like Eberron because it's so different. It is so different. That's why I like it. Like, yep, sure. It's kooky, crazy, you know. Yep, sure. That's what I would say. Part of me is like itching to run an Eberron game. But like, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be a point in time where Delta Green runs its phase with my home group here, like my face-to-face group. My buddy Joe and Jeff, they're running Castles and Crusades. And to me, it's just not, again, to me, it's not that different. But I would say that if I did run a game, I guess this is how my take is with fantasy nowadays. If I ran a game that was like, say, OSE, Dolmenwood, I don't know, kind of a trad D&D game, I would make it super light. Not light as in rules, or it would be light as in levity, right? Not so serious. Beer and pretzels, you know, probably throw in every freaking trope in the book. Meet a guy in the bar. You know, hey, I need you to hire you for something. I don't know if I could take it as serious as I once did, knowing everything. Like I would have, trolls. As we say in the Midwest of Wisconsin, if you ever seen Charlie Barron's and the Manitowoc Minute. Oop, oop trolls, oop goblins, oop oil, oop fire. I just shorthand what I'm into as D&D when talking with people who are barely interested, for sure. That's the thing. I'm sorry, Free Leagues D&D. There you go, Shambot. Good job. Points for Shambot. Point Shambot. Every video game is Nintendo, mispronounced on purpose, as that's how she said it. Test Trek, you good to see. According to my mom, every game I play is those pretend dwarf games because I always play a dwarf. Well, a lot of people say elf games, right? So, hey, way to bucket. Roxville Hall. Rune Quest is no fork. I surely know Dragon Bay forks Rune Quest. Oh, interesting. Dung ones and dung ones and dragons. Hish. Sometimes I pronounce it Bungeons and Bragons, just for shits and giggles. Donjons and Dragons. Good news is every game. Good news is every game is now OSR. Oh, I didn't get that memo. Cool. Coworker asked me for some advice, resources for running D&D for kids. His friends, his 10-year-old really wants to play it with his friends. The coworker only experience is playing Swords and Wizardry with me. Interesting. You know what's going to happen is they'll be like, oh, you don't do it like Jim. This isn't the same game. Can we eat another snack beyond pretzels? Well, true. Beer, and should we drink beer? Like, I don't know. Somebody could be an alcoholic. I don't know. Maybe we should change it from like beer and pretzels to milk and cookies. Although dairy is bad for you and cookies will probably get you diabetes, so that's bad for you. Let's try, I don't know, vegetables and ranch dip. Well, then ranch dip is probably bad for you, and vegetables is pretty bland, so let's try popcorn and peanuts. Peanuts and popcorn. So what flavor of D&D will he use? Morning RPG in Exile. Oubliettes and fire lizards if you're snooty. Right. I let him know that the only time I ever ran D&D for kids that age was when I was that age. Yeah. Well, let's see. I got something I want to talk about. Kind of, sort of, maybe. What would be the RPG industry with, like, without a little drama? I don't know if this is really drama, necessarily. So I don't know if you guys know who Ryan Dancy is. I will bring you up to speed. Back in, I don't know, who's the Fear the Boot aficionado in the group? Long time ago, Fear the Boot interviewed Ryan Dancy. It was a good interview. It was probably one of the best ones I've heard in podcast land, aside from Craig Shipman's. Okay, just want to put that out there in case Craig sees this. Love you, Craig. He's an up-and-comer, I heard. He's got a lot of sway, too. Like, I want to piss that guy off. So Ryan Dancy was instrumental in the obtaining of TSR's IP. And kind of, from what I recall, kind of brokered the deal from TSR to Wizards of the Coast. And he had been part of Wizards of the Coast, and he was one of the lead individuals responsible for putting in the D20 system and the open game license as we knew it from the D20 days, right? So if you remember the D20 logo on all of the third parties, Ryan Dancy, right? And he had an open source kind of, he understood open source, like the Linux and some of those open source tools that are out there in the tech space, and thought, well, if we get, if we release the books and we allow people to develop supplements for it using this open game license, it will therefore increase the amount of core books that we sell. So a lot of people Okay, that's Ryan Dancy. Recently, so he says, so he was working for AEG. He had worked for Paizo for quite some time. I think he was working on the video game for Paizo, the Pathfinder video game or something along Pathfinder video game for a while. I don't know exactly. I lost track of Mr. Dancy for a while. Well, he eventually ended up at AEG and had been there for I think 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So this hits the airwaves. Excuse me, should have probably mute that. Excuse me. Should have a mute button. So he was up until Friday or Thursday, the chief operating officer of board game publisher AEG, or Alderac Entertainment Group. They used to actually make role-playing games. Spycraft was one of them. Shadow Force Archer. I don't know if L5R was over there at one point in time. But anyways, they just do a lot of board games now and have been for a while. No longer working for the company following statements on social media where he claimed that AI could make most of the company's board games and that D&D and Magic, the Gathering, I'm sure he's referring to WotC's D&D, just so you know, were the only new forms of gameplay in his lifetime. Strong words, Mr. Dancy. After another poster on LinkedIn claimed that, quote, AI wouldn't come up with Tiny Towns or Flip 7 or Cubitos because it doesn't understand the human element of fun, end quote. Dancy responded that he had zero reason to believe that AI could not do such a thing. They got the quote here. It kind of ends, it goes into some of the details, but then he ends like, game publishing isn't an industry of unique special ideas. It's an industry about execution, marketing, and attention to detail. All things AIs are great at. So, when you it's basically like telling you the stuff our company makes, any AI could make. Probably doesn't go over well if you're the COO. The Cardboard Herald, which is a board game reviews channel some of you might know if you're in the board gaming space, responded yesterday on Blue Sky that, quote, as you may have seen, AEG CEO Ryan Dancy, which is not accurate because he's the COO, stated that that AI can make games just as good as Tiny Towns or Flip 7 or Cubitos, completely missing the inexorable humanity involved. We've spent 10 years celebrating creatives in the industry. Until he's gone, we will not work with AEG. So then, this is dated yesterday? Thursday. This article is dated Thursday on Ian World. Full disclaimer, I support Ian World. I throw them, I'm on a subscription with Ian World. Figured it's probably only apropos to divulge that. I haven't always been. I am now. I'm getting tired of getting their ads all over the place. Today, Thursday, which would be 2 days from this recording, the 19th. Sorry, yeah. Today, AEG CEO John Zinser stated, today I want to share that Ryan Dancy and AEG have parted ways. This is not an easy post to write. Ryan has been a significant part of AEG's story, and I am personally grateful for the years of work, passion, and intensity he brought to the company. We have built a lot together. As AEG moves into its next chapter, leadership alignment and clarity matter more than ever. This transition reflects that reality. Our commitment to our designers, partners, retailers, and players remains unchanged. We will continue building great games through collaboration, creativity, and trust. Didn't have a choice. Backed him into a corner, right? If you go down to the comments, which I think is also interesting to read from Ian World, if board gamer, if they're going to land, say, a creator and they're going to publish a board game, it's probably going to be pretty hard for that person to take their property to AEG and say, yeah, put out my game. If the COO is basically saying, you know, my dog could do it, or the computer could do it. Why are we even entertaining this? So I went. Let's see what else. What else can I tell you? Dancy himself posted. So I think it's only important that he steps up. We give like what he says. He says, this morning, John Zinzer and I talked about aftermath of my post yesterday about the ability of AI to create ideas for games. He's decided that it's time for me to move on to new adventures. Sorry to have things end like this. So in one article I read, like, Ryan Dancy leaves. And I'm like, that's not accurate, right? He states, Zinzer's like, hey, time for you to move on. Sorry to have things end like this. I've enjoyed my 10 years at AEG. I wish the team best there. I wish the team there the best in their future endeavors. I believe we're at a civilizational turning point, that who we are and how we are is going to change on the order of what happened during the agricultural and industrial revolutions. And it's past time we started talking about it and not being afraid to discuss the topic. Talking about AI, being honest about what it can and cannot do. And thinking about the implications is something we have to begin to do in a widespread way. Humans have a unique creative spark that differentiates us and makes us special. We should celebrate that specialness as we experience this epic change. For the record, I do not believe that AI will replace the work talented game designer developers do, nor do I think it's appropriate to use AI to replace the role of designers/developers in the publication of tabletop games. During my time at AEG, I developed and implemented policies and contracts that reflect those views. It's important to me that you know what I believe and what I don't believe on this particular topic, despite what you may have read elsewhere. Do you guys know what you ever heard of the Ratner? Doing the Ratner. Have you guys ever heard that? If you've been in business or not? They go into explaining this. So I'll read this again. Ian will post the link in the chat. Whatever your position on generative LLMs and the like, when the COO of your company announces publicly that all the company's games could have been made by AI, it's a problem. UK readers may recall, that's if you haven't heard about the Ratner, it's more prominent in the UK, obviously. UK readers may recall when major jewelry chain Ratner's CEO Gerald Ratner famously announced that the products sold in his stores were trash, instantly wiping £500 million from the company's value back in the early 90s. The company was forced to close stores and rebrand to Signet Group. At the time, the Ratner's Group was the world's biggest jewelry retailer. Great, now I got a cough. At the time, the Ratner's Group was the world's biggest jewelry retailer. Ratner himself was forced to resign in '92. The act of making a damaging statement about the quality of your own company's products became known as doing the Ratner, or doing a Ratner. So, comments. This isn't the first time that Dancy has stumbled his way into a major controversy. A few years ago, he had to apologize about his comments about Elizabeth Hargrave's comments about sexism in the tabletop industry. Perhaps Dancy should learn that not everything needs to be commented upon. Another person, is he wrong? I do not know enough about those games or the extent of front-running AI abilities. I do understand companies wanting to let go of people not towing the company line or bashing them online. Is this what the kids call FAFO? Another one, whether or not what he said has some logic to it, it's definitely career suicide, and he had to know that. Thanks for the OGL, though, Ryan. Seriously, I owe my continued interest in the hobby to it. Artists keep your staff motivated when you tell them that robots could do a better job. This one, the dark hand of social media giveth and taketh away. Pretty sad that one tweet can end 10 years of labor, though. play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Another one, maybe he's planning on creating a company that uses AI to create games. Would be an interesting experiment given all this. It was a large post on LinkedIn, the business platform, where he announced to the world that his designers were below average and incapable of exceeding what AI does. The rest of leadership could back him and say that he was correct, eventually firing the human idiots they'd hired, or fire the guy who thinks the humans were working for him are below average. LLMs are averaging machines. A declaration that they're as good as your staff is a declaration your staff is average or worse. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. God damn it. Sorry about this. Oh. Stuff goes into my chest. I'm going to be so ticked off. Probably already there. Anyways. So there. Yeah. Tim says he deserved to get fired. The lesson here is hubris. The inability to read the room in social media is rarely a good mix. They did have L5R twice, as far as RPGs go. Actually, board games will be especially hard for AI to design because of the tactical components and in real life play environment. Jim says text prediction machines give you predictable text. Maybe, just maybe, if any AI can make your board game, then you need to make a better board game. Jim, which can be useful, but not something you want to outsource your creativity to. This does feel like a statement made by someone who doesn't understand AI or board games. One tweet can do more than end a career, dude. That's for sure. Dorcas, additionally, if it feels like a statement from one who is chiefly concerned about P&L sheets, sees people as numbers, and does not understand that the hobby will forever be a niche and cottage market. Ego got in the way of self-awareness. To add non-creative executives who don't understand how things get made and don't recognize what good looks like. Love AI. You know who else will be replaced by AI before game designers? Executives. Oh boy. Ooh, or just Jim says, or that it's just that it's a hobby that cares about creativity and imagination and not just finished product. Says Tricky, I work in a drug company. If I said don't get vaccinated or take drugs because AI, I'd be incredibly fired. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, especially the comment about social media. Like, the comment about social media is intriguing because, you know, of course we call it cancel culture and all this stuff. But then, like, when do you put something out there in the public eye to have hundreds of thousands of people read it and not, like, expect any repercussions from it, right? Like, oh, freedom of speech, man. Yeah, freedom of speech, but not freedom from repercussions. Words have weight, people. I mean, it was, I don't know. I mean, what did he expect, I would imagine? Oh, come on, man. Come on. It was just a comment. It was just a comment, you know. I do contracts. We hire these people. Come on. I mean, he's playing the honesty card. Just being honest, just letting you know where I stand. I'm looking forward to our new robot overlords. I hope they'll utilize my skin to cover the robot bodies when they travel through time to kill us in the past. Well, Ryan, you're actually not alive right now. I mean, you are, but you're in a cocoon and we're just, you know, plugged into your brainstem, you know, powering a machine. So I don't know if you knew that or not. I don't know. I thought it was, it's a thing, something to I mean, one, probably don't want to put that out there. Two, don't want to definitely put it out there if you're working for a game company. Just saying. CEO, you know, like, dude, what are you doing? Can you imagine the conversation? Can I talk to you for a second? Sure. Yeah, this optics. What are you doing? Oh, I mean, come on. And to say that the only original games that like are out there are D&D and Magic, those are the only two innovative games that have come out of like, wow, bold statement nonetheless. In some ways, the dude was right about conversations. As a society, we need to start having conversations and eventual legislation. True. I think, like, what can we glean from this other than, wow, that's bold, and, oh, wow, not a shock that he was canned. But, man, try on a conversation about AI sometimes, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I agree. His comments after being fired were more on point. Yeah, for sure. But then there was probably some self-reflection and elaboration. Also, on social media, one little thing, right? Like, doesn't incorporate a ton of other things. Now, I'm not, hold on, torchbearers. Hold on, torchbearers. I'm not defending Ryan Dancy's stance. No, I'm not. Oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. Let's Sean's the next one. Get him. But there is, like, if he would have said, like, AI is here. What are we going to do about it? How is that going to impact the gaming industry? Let's have a conversation about that. Is there a place? I mean, there are people all over the spectrum on that. Like, absolutely freaking not. AI can go, you know, it's terrible. It's going to kill the planet. And some of the arguments aren't completely inaccurate either, right? But shutting it down and like putting your head in the sand and, you know, yelling at the wall or whatever, it's not going to move anything. It's not going to solve anything, even if you dislike it. Too late for legislation that would have been effective 10 years ago. I think before you type weird advice for the internet, right? What are you talking about? The internet it's only been here since, like, I don't know. I mean, consumer available since what? The 90s? Come on, let's not get crazy. If every American AI company went out of business today, it would only slow down AI progress by a few months. The Chinese companies are catching up fast. Jim, I mean, I get what he meant about D&D and Magic the Gathering. Those were new types of games that hadn't been seen before, spawned a whole industry and impacted popular culture. Yes. Right. Like Jim frames it up like this is what he meant. Shoot, words. Words. I love words. Yes, words. Choose the right ones, right? Put them in the right order. Think about them. Think about the ones that you want to say and, type first. There's a lot of RPGs out there that are very different from D&D, but they probably wouldn't exist if D&D hadn't been invented first. What? Wait a minute. Did you see the beginning of the stream? There are so many iterations of D&D. Orcus, right, but the same can be said about Vampire the Masquerade, which he did not mention. Yeah, maybe. Give him credit for a spicy take on things. I mean, true, like, there's always one person out there that says something completely, like not even off the wall, but just like, ooh, I would never have put that out there. And they do. And it's like, well, I'm going to stay away from that like a freaking hot potato. But at the same time, you're like, wow, bold move, right? Bold move, Dancy. If D&D hadn't been invented and Dave and Gary, someone else would have made a similar game. It's fun to speculate what it would have looked like. Might have made sense. Oh, don't come get me, Gary lovers. Don't come get me. Sassy. VTM was made in part as a reaction to D&D. Yeah. D&D doesn't exist. Vampire the Masquerade exists? I don't know. I'll defend you, Sean. Thanks. Yeah, someone else might have come up with the idea. The ingredients were there. Yeah. Anyways, figured that might be... Here's a hot take. Now, take my hot take and say we should call every fantasy RPG publisher name D&D. And then go to what Mr. Dancy put out there. I mean, even I know, like, whoa. Technical foul, man. As we do in basketball. That's right, sports ball talk. Yeah, I know sports ball. A lot of things have been made as a reaction to D&D. That's true. Hoping to breach the topic of AI use when we have our session 0 for Free Leagues D&D. Points to you, Shambot. Not sure how that hand grenade is going to fly. What is the topic of AI? I want to. Now you got me intrigued, Shambot. Because are you going to be like, hey, so let's talk about AI for this home game? D&D would not exist without war games, Braunstein, and so on back in history. The connection doesn't owe their existence and impact to it. Tiny Wars. Give H.G. Wells some credit, shall we? Guys, work is only going back that many years. I thought it was interesting. FAFO. No doubt. So you're saying that D&D spawned from war? Yeah. Let's just get into some news. We'll just cover whatever's on the docket. I don't know if I had any news other than that. Let me see. Timothy Brown leads official Traveller 5e adaptation for backer kit. So we talked about this last time where they announced like, hey, we're going to make Traveller 5e, like 5e D&D Traveller, not like, because I'm like, oh, Traveller 5th edition's been out already. It's like this big, huge phone book looking thing. No. Right? It's the 5e. It's WotC's D&D Traveller. That makes sense? So I think this was kind of known. I thought Timothy Brown was probably, I think he was pegged for it anyway, right? Driven by veteran designer Timothy Brown through a publishing entity called World's Largest RPGs, the project has the full coordination of current Traveller stewards, Mongoose Publishing, and is already on BackerKit for crowdfunding on the 31st of March. So look, if you are a Traveller fan and you like Mongoose's Traveller, and you're like, man, how could they do this? Mongoose is like, we don't see a problem with it. Adapting a skill-heavy sandbox sci-fi game to the class and level framework of 5e is a significant undertaking. The designers note that iconic elements of Traveller such as jump space, starships, interstellar commerce, and sector-level world-building have been integrated into the familiar 5e engine. Interestingly, 5e backgrounds are being wrapped into the classic Traveller career paths. I don't know, man. Is it that big a leap? If it's not that big a leap, then Sean, why don't you do it, dude? Touche. Touche. The crowdfunding campaign will run on BackerKit rather than on Kickstarter. Fans who register their interest on the pre-launch page ahead of the March launch date and subsequently back at a physical tier will receive an exclusive Traveller 5e coin and patch. Backers can also expect digital and physical rewards ranging from deck plans to miniatures, along with early access to the conversion rules. Let's just give credit where credit is due. Traveler is alive and well, and they've got a huge fan base, right? According to the book Elusive Shift, role-playing was the fourth dimension of war games. Interesting. Ooh, diplomacy. Yikes. Never played. AI for... So Shambot's getting back to me. AI use for both the players and myself. Honestly, I don't see much of a tangle about our use of it in the game. Just want to get some of the players' opinions on it so I don't put my foot in my mouth. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, well, you know, I'm a DM, so I'm going to like, I wouldn't pay for art for my game, my home game. Okay, hold on. Let's back up. Not Risk. Risk is total BS. Want to play a game? Booyah. Global Thermonuclear War. Yes. Elusive Shift and all Peterson's books. Love them, says Jim. Risk is BS. It is confirmed that Ryan is a robot. It's a fun book to read. I do have a question with Shambots. How many of you, and you don't have to answer this for fear of public condemnation, okay? But how many of you have paid for art for your home games? Okay? Home game, you want to give them a handout, you created something, but you went out and paid for it, paid an artist to get it, presented it to the, like, I need a map, went out, bought a map pack, paid an artist, commissioned an artist, presented it. Now that's a good thing. If you say, yes, me, well then there you go. How many? I'm just curious, like for home games, say you're going to make your own. How many make your own? And then what you make is like, oh, I don't know, I'll do a Google image search. I'm going to take like, oh, I need a parchment background. I'm going to grab this parchment background and I'll type on it and then I'll print it. I bought map packs from the artist. Hish, not I, for obvious reasons. She's an artist. I haven't commissioned art for my games. I've paid for art and bought RPG products based on the art. So question, would you consider Hexroll to be an AI created map? Well, that's, I'm lucky enough to have a talented daughter in house and commission art from her. Awesome. In terms of buying maps, tokens, handouts, yes. I have paid for a map. I've also paid an AI company for art. I have an obsession with consistency and tone for art in a game, especially in a VTT, says Hoos. Jim says, but I just draw my own maps. Ramdan, good to see you. You can also trick your players into drawing the map. You just have to hit the right buttons. Mike, I've paid for art for my home game before, but in all honesty, I usually use AI art for most of my home game needs. So what I'm trying to get at is it's like piracy. Some people will say, and some of the things that they've done on piracy is, the people that pirate, they're never going to buy your stuff anyway. Some people might not like that argument. They might not even like the fact that that happens. But it does. I'm never going to buy that DVD anyway. I'm just going to download it. I'm not saying it's right, of course, right? And you should support artists. I will say that, okay? Just put it out there. Settle down, everybody. But, you know, I know people that have played in my games, they've commissioned an art for a character portrait. I don't know if I've ever done that. Ever. Like, I've either never had a character portrait or I pull off some weird freaking, here's the actor. I just pull an actor like, oh, it's Pedro Pascal. This is what your character looks like. Right? Looks like Sean Bean. This is what my guy looks like. Is that right? So my point is like the people that are using AI for their home games, specifically around character portraits, like to Shambot, I was going to say, like, are you going to, so when Shambot sits down, or we sit down with our home groups, you have to have a conversation around AI now. Like, hey, just so you know, everything that I'm going to present to you as the game master is not going to be AI generated. Or do you do maybe 2 pieces? I don't know, all the pieces that you're going to want to do. And then when you put it down on the table, they go, whoa, wait a minute. That's AI art. What are you doing? What are you doing? Now, most of us will have that dynamic of our home group. Like, if I know the people I'm playing with and I've played with them for years and years and years, I don't know. Maybe that's just like, we know each other, right? We could talk with each other in a different manner than when you're running games for randos. I've also acquired PDFs for art and maps from physical books I own for the purpose of ETTs. Question here. Let's even get it deeper. Okay, so you get a book. The PDF doesn't exist. Legitimately. Do you feel that you have the right to go get the PDF? I own the book. I own this. It's right here. I got it right here. I could actually show you I own it, bought it. Do you get the PDF for free? There's some companies that don't do that. Money Cook Games, Eileen can correct me. You either get the print or the PDF. Every once in a while they mash them together. You could buy without sin cast the first stones. Right? I buy many non-art human created things, maps, books, etc. However, when it comes to art, I only pay for art for games that are special in some way. MCG does do print and PDF bundles now. Okay, there we go. Thank you for correcting me. Good to know. Thank you, Monty. I may even consider like buying something off the website now. That was a big hang up for me. Like, I gotta buy the print and I don't have the PDF. What? When I use AI art, when I use AI for art, it is for throwaway things like a picture of an NPC or similar things. And there are, like, if you take that and you do that at like a rando open game at a FLGS, somebody determines that's AI art, you might like get thrown out of the place. Ramnan, the reason I always oppose AI art in the hobby is that the essence of it is to tell stories with other people or by yourself, and art will always be part of that storytelling. Reading aid morning. This is this discussion is, I don't know if it's like somebody's gonna stumble across this and they're gonna freaking string up my channel. But I think it's like conversations to have and to be like honest and say like, hey, here's kind of the situation. We know that it's the genie's out of the bottle, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean go bonkers. Like, oh, whatever, man. Columbia Games Harm Publisher charges for both. Do they really? That sucks. How do you feel about that, Hoos? Yeah, their prerogative, or, man, I bought the hardback, so I got to rip up my hardback and scan it. I wouldn't even mind paying a little bit of extra, I guess. I don't know. Like, hey, it's like $60 hardback, but if you want the PDF and hardback, it's $65 or $70. I think that, yeah. Quick talk about dice for a bit. Right, how about them dice? Dude. Yeah, I don't know. They have a subscription thing that gives a discount, a small family run business. I pay, but yeah, there's a slight upcharge for the PDF print from MCG, but it's not bad. I'm glad they started doing that. I agree. But it was like not like it was just you got one or the other and you had to pay like two different things. That drove me nuts. I think the only time Monty changed that was when he was doing bundles around Christmas, right? Like those things. I'm like, come on, man. I get it. Like it's business. Like if you're willing to replace human art by AI, why not the players as well? Why don't replace the games too? In fact, why not just let an AI running stories while you just work? Where does it end, right? Wait till WotC's all digital initiative. It's all digital. I mean, why not just play a computer game? I only use non-AI dice. When I get things on drive-thru, I often buy physical with PDF for the same cost. It is not for the same cost, then I tend to go with the PDF. It's a discussion. Thanks for like chiming in. But it's a delicate discussion for sure because it's a hot topic. It's a hot topic in RPGs, man. And I know there's a lot of people on social media that are very, very loud and very, very like have very strong feelings about it, as they should, and as they do, and as they will. I don't know. The genie out of the bottle, yes, that's true. But the genie also eats 15 cows for each wish. People are comfortable only because those aren't their cows yet. It's true. There's so there's so many things. There's so many things. Let's not get in even to water, right? I have an issue with any company who doesn't provide a PDF for physical book purchases. It's a nickel and diming at the end of the day and just leads to disgruntled customers. I wrote Arc Dream, by the way, Orcus. If you know anybody over there, I tried to get God's Teeth in PDF and nobody's responded. I'm like, come on, man. I just want the PDF. I got it as a gift. And so if my buddy at the time would have known they had Bits and Mortar at Noble Knight, he could have said, hey, but he probably wouldn't have known my email address. I'm like, hey, I got this book. I got it as a gift. Can I get the PDF? If the expectation for production is full color pages with plentiful art and discovery is limited primarily to cool covers shared on social media, the economic pressure toward AI art is significant. Runeslayer, if we cannot talk about the pros and cons of something like a technology and its ethical implications, then we are pale shadows of people. Anyone know the reason why a game publisher sells their physical book on their website, but then tells us to go to drive-thru to buy the PDF? Yes, because drive-thru, if they are the exclusive source for the PDF, I believe, then your cut from them is less. Could be wrong. Somebody can correct me if they publish. Wayne Peacock looking at you. So if you decide to say, well, I'm going to host my PDF at like the open game, like there's the one open source, like the open market one, right? It's like drive-thru, but competitor and your own website, then I think drive-thru takes more. I mean, because why not? You want to pay to play. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I have weak feelings about AI, but that I mean I am mostly undecided about AI's place in things in general. I'm still developing my thoughts on it. It's relatively new. It's a hot topic, period. Most people have no idea how capable the current generation of agents are or how fast they are improving. It absolutely will shape our civilization, both for good and bad. Brandon says the publisher may not have the resources to host their PDF library either. Well, that's true too. If you're to host PDFs, you got to serve them up. So there's space, bandwidth, hosting, there's overhead. There's a special joy to ordering a physical book and instantly getting access to it on PDF. It makes me love that publisher a bit more. It also makes the wait for the books to arrive much easier. I agree, Tad. There's nothing better like Modifius. Let's get some props. Modifius, Free League, you buy it, boom, I get the PDF. As long as it's available, right? It's not a pre-release or Kickstarter. And even a Kickstarter, sometimes you get the PDF before the book, like months in advance. Like, cool. Still haven't looked at it, but at least I have it. Later, people also like to have the source of the PDFs all in one place in case of the need to replace stuff and keeping it available after a public license has been lost by the publisher. Right. At least, can we all agree on this one thing? Because there's talks of, I was talking to my buddy Jeff, and he buys DVDs. Like, he must buy them like he does like 1990s cassette tapes. Like, there's a reason why I buy these, Sean. And it's because why would you just buy them off a streaming site? Like, who does that? And if you do, great. But the fear is they're going to change a movie. Han didn't shoot first. What? They're talking about and he said there was a movie that came out that they were going to edit because it was cringe. They didn't feel they didn't like it. And it was like the actor, director was like, oh, I don't know, I don't like it, I'm going to change it. At least we haven't gotten there. Wizards is getting there. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. They're going to be the first ones on that hill where if you buy the books, they're going to change them. And that's why some of us are like, dude, you got to buy the book, man. Or even the PDF. But then you got to also how many of you save the different versions of PDFs you get from drive-thru? So when they release a new version of a book, you don't overwrite the old one. And then when you play, which one do you use? Let's wait until the AI bubble pops and the hype dies so engineers get time to figure out good uses for it instead of force it into everything like, I don't know, a diffusion model to 3D map tumors. Yeah, right. So we have our space that I think we can share. Many of us are not in favor of AI generated art in publications, creating RPG content, etc. Like many of us are like, no. And then many of us will say, for a variety of reasons, to include environmental. But then you go to I don't know, protein folding. And it's like, well, can we cure cancer with this shit? Timeout, right? Like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Take research, run it through models. I saved the different versions of the PDF updates. Dude, you're a rarity. Anybody else? I don't. Only if you've torn off the cover. Oh, old school. That's old school piracy there. If you bought this without its cover, chances are the publisher hasn't earned any money off of it. Was it something with the cover? Was that the thing? Like the cover was like the authenticity piece? Like, it's so much easier to print a book without the cover. Like you just crank those suckers out all day. There is AI slop and there are AI tools, for sure. But that's not even being discussed in some circles. Ryan going old school publishing. Jim, I spent most of this week talking about AI stuff at work. Quite a bit of most weeks prior to that, going back a couple of years. I don't particularly want to involve it in my hobbies too. What are we discussing? That's Das Jingo. Lots of controversial stuff. Das Jingo. AI art, PDFs, all kinds of stuff. Let's get into, I don't know, what else is there? Let's talk about some other stuff. Dice, AI dice, kind of like how I draw paint on paper instead of a screen, because I spend all my time in front of a screen anyway. True. So the deal with covers torn off was that the sellers would send the covers back as they were unable to sell the product and then get a credit from the publishers. Oh, the more you know. Interesting. I did not know that. Bookstores could send back just the covers to the publisher for a refund on unsold copies. Employees were supposed to destroy the cover-free books. I did not know this. Look at it. Look at everybody educating Sean. When paperback books disposable were claimed as ruined, unsold, recycled, etc., the covers were sent to the publisher for credit. Unscrupulous sealers would sell the coverless books. Thanks for letting me know. It makes sense. Interesting way. Old analog way of getting credit. Paizo skips PaizoCon 2026 to rethink event strategy. Interesting take. So now I talked about BSRCon a few weeks ago. I was a little doldrum about it. But here we go. Look at this. Fans of Pathfinder and Starfinder will need to find new ways to secure the annual fix of the developer keynotes into community gaming this year. Paizo has officially announced that PaizoCon has been removed from the 2026 calendar, making a significant break for the event that has served as the publisher's primary digital hub since the pandemic began in 2020. I thought PaizoCon was older than that. I thought PaizoCon was way older than that, right? Rather than a permanent cancellation, the publisher is framing the move as a temporary hiatus to rethink the event's format. The decision comes at a busy juncture for the company as they navigate the transition to a new web store and push toward the full release of Starfighter 2nd Edition. This is from Geek Native, which I also support, I will say, as a Patreon. Maya Coleman, community and social media specialist, Paizo explained it in a community forum. Simply put, we think there could be better ways to make PaizoCon more enjoyable and effective for people, so we need some time to reevaluate. Hopefully, we'll be able to come up with something that works great for everyone. This is an interesting topic. Right here is where it kind of goes. I think this is it. The official flagship event is on ice. The community is already mobilizing. The organized Play Online region has announced Bridging the Gap 2026, a grassroots online convention scheduled 22 to 25 May. The event aims to replicate the multi-table specials and community spirit of the official con, featuring games across Pathfinder, Starfinder, and Starfinder 2E playtest. It goes on. There is also the matter of the con bug. Community feedback on the official forums highlighted that while many miss the in-person PaizoCon experience, the rising costs of travel and the health risks of large gatherings have made the online alternative a vital, accessible lifeline for international fans. Paizo's reevaluation will likely need to balance the prestige of an in-person return with the inclusive reach of the digital format. So then I think to myself, I don't know, maybe BSRCon should be bigger. Maybe I need to push for it more. Maybe we need to say, dude, you want to spend $3,000 going to a convention? That's fine. That's great. But it's not accessible to all. And BSRCon, you want variety? BSRCon, right? 50 events, 45 are different games. So maybe I need to turn it up. Turn it up, man. Make it bigger, better. Maybe I need to get some guests of honor, right? Heard the names, bring them in. But people say, well, Sean, those days are over, man. Face-to-face is where it's at. Maybe. Wait till we're all on fixed income, you old farts. Then what's going to happen? You're going to have to get in your bus and do the con tour. Not contour, contour. I wonder if there are Pathfinder virtual worlds out there. Maybe. 2020 lasted about 1,500 days. Yes. Face-to-face doesn't sound so bad if you have a shitty internet. Well, that's true too. That's true too. But the internet, isn't it getting better? Starlink. Then I gotta give my money to Elon Musk. I gotta give my money to Verizon. Like there's no win in this world sometimes. It's just not. Forget casino bus tours, convention bus tours. Woot woot. Right? Hell yeah. Anyways, just something I thought I would throw out there. That's all I have for that. Let's get into bundles quick. We're over, so moving right along. This one's a good one. If you've contributed, great. Why is that all wonky there? It's not right. Why is my thing not right? I don't know what's going on. Anyways. Oh, I should probably, here. Paizo, here, Paizo. Did I put the link for Mr. Dancy's thing? I think I did, right? Put it in there again. There we go. Traveler 5, put in there again. Traveler 5e. That's all you 5e lovers are getting it. No Ice in Minnesota bundle on itch. Yeah, it's cut off. Why is it cut off? That's driving me nuts. Now it's really driving me crazy. This is driving me crazy. Dun, 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 dun. Your love is driving me crazy. Weird. Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm not gonna fix it. It's just gonna. It's not. There we go. So there's some stuff in here. $500,000 goal. A bundle hosted by Jess the Human. Content from over 651 creators. Like you can get 1,400 items for $10. A 99% savings of $5,000. Throw $20 at this thing. $50, $100, whatever you can spare. Right? Hit that $500,000 mark. Created this bundle to raise funds for Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota in response to the Trump administration sending ICE agents to Minneapolis. That's a lot of money. 500 grand. Woo-wee. Some of the stuff that's in here, I saw some like Fist is in here. We've talked about Fist when they were kickstarted. I'm just pointing some that might be recognizable that maybe you had interest in but never picked up. There's some like Mothership scenarios. Desert Moon of Karth has gotten good publicity. Rosewood Abbey. There's a Goblin on the Loose in Icarus Station, another Mothership 1E scenario. I'm sure there's tons of other ones that I'm not familiar with that are good. This Mortal Coil. I'm sure Tim Jensen has all these in print. And if he doesn't, I don't even know why. He's like dead to me. Yeah, so there's a epic ton of this stuff. I wouldn't even know how to organize this in my freaking PDF like library. But anyways, check it out. Putrescence Regnant. It's like a Merkborg scenario that was out there. There you go. Did I put that in the chat? Oh, curious if this is also a decision made by the tremendous drop in tourism. Some smaller cons are being impacted by this that draw international crowds. Right. Like, dude, it saddens me when I see people like Hish, like, I was going to go, I'm not going. Forget that. I'm not going to the U.S. Not that Hish would or not, but he's outside the country. And it's like saddens me that these guys can't come if they did want to. I write in and highlight textbooks and other books that are basically tools. Oh boy. Right. Books. Writing in books. Love getting old TSR models, young DM notes in them, or at least the handwritten name in the front. The best. Yeah, right? That bundle is worth it just for Baba Is You. We do have Sean K. Reynolds' developer copy of the original Numenera with his notes. That is fine. It's pretty cool to have the original callouts. That stuff is cool. Some collectors would want that. How is downloading these? Individual links or one zip file? I don't know. Maybe it's one zip and extracted? Hard to say. Gen Con is having a lot fewer international attendees. It still sells out, though, because it's Gen Con. I'd be interested to see what the dip is, though. See you, Jim. Hey, if people from the UK have been in prison for 6 weeks, I ain't risking it with my brown skin. I get it, Hish. I get it. Just know that not all of us support what's going on. That's for sure. Yeah. Let's see what else. Another bundle, a couple bundles. Dungeon or Down Crawl, Sky Crawl. You guys know this one? There's a few things in here you can check out. From Aaron Reed that help you create spontaneous tabletop role-playing adventures in the deep, deep down and Azure Etern. Whether you're guiding a group or playing solo, Down Crawl's evocative prompts frame your own stories of dangerous travel through subterranean realms where the sun is mere legend. Boom, bam, boom. And then, of course, at the top, there's also Neon City Overdrive. From Peril Planet. And, of course, these, I think, yeah, I thought there was a charity that was involved, but maybe not. This is like game inspired by Fate and Blades. You are so inclined, check those out. I've coughed more in this hour than I have the last week. Should we go to crowdfunding? Print? Do we have print? Print news? Print news. We have print news. It's been a while since I did the news. So there's stuff that's been printed and put out in crowdfunding weeks prior. This is just the up-to-date stuff. Kingsport Mysteries by Edge Studio, Arkham Horror. Seems this and maybe the Twilight Imperium RPG are the ones that they're working on the most there. Down in Yangardi, Space Penguin Inc. for Troika. Beneath Beatrice Blackwell's Basement by You Could Breathe Now, which is OSR. There's a few things here. Tales from the Road, The Buried Covenant of the Headless Saint, Underneath the Ruined Watchtower, and Some Forgotten Duke. Next one, Studio 2 Publishing, Street Wolves, Turbo Edition, Turbo Dreams, Dead Hand. Out in print. I remember Street Wolves coming up. Sort of the 80s. PCs take the role of street wolves and fight evil that lurks in the shadows of an alternative 1987. Ooh. Inspired by synthwave aesthetics, 80s TV shows like Miami Vice and neo-noir movies like Drive. PCs work outside the system to fight insidious foes in the shadows while fighting their own inner demons. There you go. I may actually get the Blades game. Blades 68. I don't know. I got 3 Blades games I'm not even touching. But it looks pretty cool. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Gotta say, so I'm saying, crowdfunding, yo. Crowd funding. Eminem. Slim Shady, Please Stand Up, 4th edition tabletop RPG by Green Ronin Publishing. Sorry, Mutants and Masterminds. 158K. Funded. The world's greatest superhero game returns. Mutants and Masterminds back with a new edition. No, I can't wrap your head around this. Dark Matter Sci-Fi box 5e. Ooh. Look at that, 255 grand. Mage Hand Press for 2014 and 2024. D&D 5th edition 2014-2024. What? You gotta get this nailed down here. 440 pages of ideas inspired by Mass Effect, Dune, and Star Wars. Think mechs, kaiju, aliens, ship combat, new options, treasures. It reminds me of like, these should be ads like Super Soaker, what is it, like it's a Saturday Night Live where they talk about Ass Dan dying all the time. It's like those rock festivals. If you know, you know. His Whip's Treasury of Absurd Curiosities Volume Deuce from Joe Seltzer. That's funded. Level Up Gate Pass Gazette Annual 2025 by EM Publishing. Not the last one on the list this time. Sewer Scum from Dice Cats by Merkborg for Merkborg and Cyberg. Funded. OSE Expeditions into the Blood Sands from RPG Ramblings Publishing. Funded. Tales from the Locker, compatible with Pirate Berg from Skeleton Key Games. Funded. Throwing money at these things all day. Maricopa Con. Imagine in Arizona. I'd have to go down there and work and go to the con. Not a huge con. Organizers expect 500 attendees, but it has history, running 13 years and a fan base that loves its content. So if you're in Phoenix, you want to go to Maricopa Con, check it out. That is it for crowdfunding. What is Blade 68 up to? Anybody know? I don't know, man. I don't care about that game. Very good. 325 grand. What's the highest Evil Hats put out? What's the biggest one? Blades? I don't think it's Blades, because I think they came in after. Right? They took it over. Blade 68. I don't know, man. Might be up my alley. Damn, Tim does a good job in graphic design. I don't know. Just reading the comments here. It reminds me that I need to catalog my signed RPG books so the kids have reference on which ones to give away and not give away. Somewhere there's a garage sale with our names on it. Cut down on my crowdfunding wagers this year. Same here. Hobbsy, good to see you. Swords Against. He's been lurking. He's a creeper. Creeping around. Google says Fate Core was their highest. That does not surprise me. What was it at? Despite my desire to cut down on crowdfunding venture this year, Blade 68 is calling to me. Me too. Sean, back it. Okay. Tim said back it. Okay. I probably will, just because I don't buy as much, or I wasn't going to, and I know it's going to be tough. I don't know how to run Blades. I've played one Blades game. I don't know. I've got Band of Blades, and I've got the, this one. What is it? You know, that one. Here it is. Scum and Villainy. Band of Blades, Scum and Villainy. Those are the only two Blades games I have, I think. 433,000. I think they may surpass like 90 days. Back it, Sean, and send me the PDF. That would not be ethical, sir. See? Case in point. He wouldn't have bought it anyway. Run it the way you want to play it. Rebel Scum is in that ice bundle too. It is. They're two good Blades games, and I haven't played either. Actually, that's not correct. I played Scum and Villainy. Kevin ran it for me one shot. It may be that one, and then so Kevin ran that one, and then I think somebody ran it for Brett and I because they thought Brett would love it because he's a Streets of Avalon guy. I don't remember if that was Frank House that ran it or what. The memories of days past faded with the light of this nihilist sun. Hobbs is such a poet now. He's like, he's tall. This guy wears a beret and got a little weird mustache. Goes to poetry slams now. Wears a turtleneck. Yeah, I stereotype. Yeah. So what? Oh, man. Always been a poet. We all are. Deep inside. Right here. Like Blades, there's a lot to steal for other game systems. I like Blades to rip things out of and apply to other games. Clocks. The original Blades game, it's funny because it's like, oh, it's Duskfall, and then it's like, it's almost like reminds me of a very Victorian era, right? Gaslight kind of setting, but it's heisty and it's makeup, right? Like, right? Am I getting this right? Like, am I wrong with Blades? And I'm like, to me, it's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. And I think to myself, Blade 68 is probably more apropos, right? Even Band of Blades is a unique one because it's like, I don't know, like, okay, so it's not heisty, but I don't know. It's a lot of, man, these books are thick, dude. Band of Blades is like, what is that, 600 pages? God, blast it all. It's like it's a beast. Knock all my shit over. Damn it. Look at this thing. Like, it's dense. 440-ish pages. Almost 450. Like, dude, here, learn this. Oof. Overall, Forged in the Dark is pretty solid as a framework. Yeah, it's a blind one. It's a what is it called? The blind spot for me. I like Benny's from Suede. If I ever run the other games, I'll keep them. I reward my players with them each time they write in the journals for fun roleplay, for art, etc. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go because I don't know, I'm running out of things to say, and you guys should go and do cool stuff, whatever that is. Thanks everybody here for supporting me. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. I stream here every 8 a.m. Central Time here Saturdays, if you can make it U.S. time. Hish, good to see you, man. Thanks for showing up, dude, as you probably head off to sleepy time. Glad we could have a discussion, civilized discussion, although right now I'm flying under the radar until I get a lot more exposure, and then it's going to be, I'm going to get run out of town, folks. You just know that's going to happen. Just inevitable. Support your artists. Support creators. Support cancer research. Go play games. Play games. That's all I gotta say. Play games. Love your neighbor. And take care of, hey, like Jerry Springer would say, take care of yourself and each other. Hope to see you next Saturday. Thanks for showing up. We'll see ya.